All right, hello. Well, so this is my first stretch of the Appalachian Trail, basically the first 40 miles or so. And coincidentally, number 40 in the Appalachian Trail Conservancy guest book. They take your photo, they give you a number depending on which direction you're going and so forth, and they keep track of everyone. And that was my first day going across the bridge, Harper's Ferry. Really excited because I saw that in videos and I thought, okay, I'm doing it finally. It was fun to go on from that. Um, I want to make note of a couple things, so the video might not match all the time. So, but I see it playing here behind behind me, so I know where it is in the video. I know how to keep track here. Um, I want to mention a few things just off the bat. I want to do mistakes and also some memories, which I think are the highlights. Mistake. First day, didn't carry any water, and there's an appropriate skull stuck in a tree there. That's what could happen if you don't carry water. I don't know why, but I got in my head that I didn't need that much water or that I could fill up in town and everything. I learned from that mistake. I'm always filling up wherever I get a chance now and drinking big gulps of water. I don't want to ever have that experience again. I got a headache at the end of the day. I had to take one ibuprofen, the first ibuprofen of the trip. So, and I knew it was exactly from lack of water. So don't do that. um, Also, some complaints, or I don't know, mistakes, but oh, here's this one has sound because there's some rain falling on the tent. I wanted to capture that. Some mistakes. It was too warm the first night, and then the next couple nights it was too cold. I just need to get my sleeping situation worked out and figure out what to wear, what not to wear, and I have a couple options. So I'm just gonna experiment. Not really a mistake, just sort of getting used to things. Um, Too little hand sanitizer. I think I need to bring more, but I kind of survived without it. It's not a big deal, but I really need to use hand sanitizer when I get a chance. Beautiful butterflies. um, yeah. Let's see. Some more mistakes. Not enough trail snacks and food to eat while I'm hiking. I think I need more of that. So I had these nice mountain house luxury meals at the end of the day, which was nice to look forward to. But it was sort of, dependent on me having to boil up water and then pour water in and doing all that thing. I think I need to do a little more simple snacks, and that's also what's more available along the way to resupply at like Dollar General stores and stuff like that. Um, so I need to get used to that and figure out what I like. Also, another big mistake, which was one I just made last night. Oh, by the way, on the video here, that's Dalren campground. That's the second night on the trail, and that was an amazing campsite. They have showers with hot water, toilets. That's a really nice place, and it's right next to a little tavern place, which is kind of fancy. Open mostly evenings, and also for a Sunday brunch. I didn't get a chance to go there, unfortunately. I kind of bummed out. I missed on it. So, taking a video of me doing. Oh, it looks like breakfast. But coffee is something to look forward to at breakfast. Man, coffee is a really good thing. Okay, in any case, my last mistake. It was too long a walk to my hotel. So yesterday was my longest day, and just hiking from the AT to my hotel was 4.5 or 5 miles or so. I should have just done a shuttle or gotten a lift, which actually surprisingly they're available. They're running in a nearby town here, so I would just have to wait a little while and take a shuttle, um, or call up a shuttle driver. Yeah, those are mistakes. Nothing big and very survivable. Uh, oh yeah, I didn't quite capture it. There's a little red bird there. Some amazingly colorful birds here, and I think this same bird yesterday. I saw it on the trail, and just super colorful. They look almost tropical, almost, and I was really surprised to see those around here. Never seen those in California. Some good memories I want to share of the trail. You'll see it in the video, but there's some tame deer at Washington Memorial that just didn't care. It's like groundskeeper are really like, I see ya, I hear ya, I don't care. Like those deer just, they looked up at me, and I tried to be gentle and let them know I was there, but they're like, we just want to eat, and so I passed gently, and I didn't want to disturb them, but I think they'd seen enough people. They were kind of funny. They just didn't care. Some other good memories associated with like cool feelings, like cold spring water, getting some spring water and drinking it, or feeling a cool breeze after hot weather, especially on the second day. It was a little hot, and then just getting up to the top of the hill and feeling a little cool breeze on my face that was sweaty. That's amazing. That makes the whole experience worth it. That's like a highlight of your day. Just a little cool breeze that you usually take for granted. Um, some interesting memories at trees creaking like old planks of wood, or like an old rocking chair. So just walking along, and very windy day one of these days, and these trees, it's just wood, so they're just creaking, groaning together. Um, Another good memory is like my first campsite, which was at the Ed Garvey Memorial Shelter, and I actually pitched a tent there, and it was just kind of sad to leave the next morning. I looked back at it and I was like, "Oh, here's the deer in the video." This is gonna be a bit shaky video. I apologize, but um, at this point, I let this guy know I was here and I was coming. I wanted to be super gentle with him, but I was just like, I gotta go. And he's standing in the trail, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go now. But you can see he's kind of inching forward, like I'm just gonna eat. But eventually, he moves off the trail there. Yeah, those deer were funny. Um, but yeah, that first night, sad to leave that campsite behind, and I was a little nostalgic already. And I looked back at it, I took a picture, and I thought, that's all I can do. I gotta move on, and that's like life, right? You take a picture to remember it, and you just keep moving on. Um, First night in the shelter was pretty nice, which is the day, which was the third night actually, um, and that was a very windy day, and I didn't feel comfortable setting up a tent under these trees and having a limb fall on me or anything like that. So I stayed in a shelter. I was the only one there for some reason. So, but I know it's not going to be like that. Going forward, I'm gonna have to share shelters with some folks, which is fine. I just have to get used to that. But that night in the shelter was interesting because there's like a whole wall missing, and it gives you a view of everything, including a bear bag I had hung up on the bear pole, um, just to see if any animals try to get to it. Um, yeah, that was an interesting experience, and it got a little colder inside there because it's not like you're in your tent and protected from the elements. So I gotta figure out a better way because I got a little cold. So I got some thermal clothes, like thermal underwear and stuff like that, which I should have probably worn. So I know that for next time. Just an experience, and then learning from that experience. I kind of mentioned it before, but there's these beautiful red birds, and you saw it in the video. Some butterflies with some patterns I never seen before. Um, Even some bugs are interesting, and seeing some sort of like hornets and some ants that have like slightly different color on one segment of their abdomen, which I've never seen these sort of bugs before. Like, just interesting. It's like seeing them all for the first time. So sometimes I've been taking photos or videos of these guys when I see them. And last but not least, I might have mentioned it already, but coffee is great to wake up to in the morning, and sometimes even in the afternoon after hiking. It just feels good to cook up some coffee. It's just like, yeah, this makes it worth it. So yeah, those were the sort of mistakes and memories. Oh, and I also have some tallies here, some counts. I saw about 3 to 4 squirrels, probably more than that. There's a lot of squirrels, nothing special. Did see one small non-venomous snake, not actually on the trail, but on the very first day when I was hiking from my hotel to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, which was my sort of official starting point, saw one snake like right on the side of the road. It was not dead. It was moving. It was alive. So that kind of freaked me out. I'm not. I don't think it's going to be my last snake that I see, but yeah, I saw those 3 deer that you saw in that video. Um, yeah, and not really an animal count, but taking 2 ibuprofen. So once at the end of that first day where I stupidly didn't drink enough water and I had a headache, which was very predictable and preventable, And the second time was just, I think it was a day that my legs were just feeling sore, and I was trying to push myself to go on. These last couple days, I kind of pushed myself a little bit too hard, because I was trying to get to town before my food ran out. So, and also to pick up my resupply package, which I mailed to myself. Oh, here's some videos of the nice shelter that I stayed at. It was actually very clean, and that was just the night before last night. Um, yeah, but I pushed myself a little too hard, and I thought for sure I would get blisters um, after yesterday, because yesterday was my longest day, just pushing myself to get to the hotel, which is a super long distance. Um, but amazingly, no big blisters yet. Um, and I think this is actually good timing in the video, because I'm actually taking off my shoes to sort of prove that I have no blisters. Well, I don't know at the time, but like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take off my shoes and see my first blisters. But as you'll see, it'd be kind of disappointing because there's not really anything there. You can fast forward through this if you think it's kind of gross, but it's just pictures of my feet, and there's nothing wrong with them yet. so, it was very surprising. This was that first day that I was pushing myself. Need to get to this shelter just to break up the distance and make sure I make it to town in time the next day, the following day, which I did. Here you go. Here's the routine. You gotta, yeah, take off your shoes when you get to camp. Put some sandals or something on. Let your feet breathe. And here's my interesting concoction here. I got the darn tough hiker socks on there, and then I've got another layer of socks, which is polypropylene white socks. Kind of feeling my sore feet. Right underneath there, I think I'm just pointing out the hot spots, like areas that feel kind of hot. Yeah, like those areas get blisters on them sometimes. But underneath there, but what I've been doing in the mornings for the first time ever this trip actually, adding this stuff called hiker goo, which is kind of like this glue stuff that glues those white socks to my feet, and it prevents friction basically. And those socks actually prevent another layer of friction from the other socks. So it's actually like doing double duty, and it's whatever I'm doing, like that is a winning combination, because I've never hiked so far before without blisters. But I see some things starting to develop on the side, but like they're not really blisters. It's just sort of skin chafing. But there's some hot spots for sure that are probably going to develop into blisters later on. Oh, I made this video too long, huh? This was like real time discovering, oh my gosh, my feet can put up with a lot. So, but I need to not abuse them so much, which is why I'm kind of resting them today in the hotel. Sorry about that. All right, David, these are your feet. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really important thing, as it turns out. Just dry out your feet. Um, what can I say now? The hotel I'm at now is very far from the Appalachian Trail. It's in Waynesboro. So I'm gonna enjoy my day off today, and that's part of this trip too. Like I'm not on a marathon or anything, and I'm going at my own pace. And also, I want to enjoy some of these towns. This town looks kind of cool, actually, Waynesboro. Um, did not get kind of good vibes from the town next to it, which I forgot its name, but there's just no sidewalks there and not really much there to see. So, but Waynesboro is pretty cool. It feels like, and they've got some good places to eat. So I'm anxious to check them out today. This is the Ensign Cowell Memorial Shelter. That's the waking up in the morning there. This was kind of interesting for me because I saw this coming from a little ways, but it was going through the forest, and then all of a sudden the trail breaks up and you're in the middle of a giant field, which is really interesting. Different change of pace. It made it feel very different. Now, there's some places that are like this. There's a couple power lines that you walk under that are sort of artificial clearings of land, so the power lines can, go through them. But this was just a regular field with no power lines or anything. Nicer feeling. You don't hear the buzzing of the wires or anything like that. Yeah, I love these springs. This is where you fill up your water, basically. So these places are marked on the maps that I have, and these are good stopping points to fill up, take a couple sips of water, fill up all my my water bottle and my water bag. And here's a clearing that I was just actually mentioning. That's a little power line clearing through the forest there. Those are also parts of or points of interest. So these are marked on the Gut Hook app that I'm using. So these are actually nice to look forward to because they're milestones to mark your progress through the day. It's like, yeah, I got to the power line. Okay, what's after that? It's like, okay, there's a stream to cross. Now there's a stream that it seems to give people some trouble sometimes, but today it was very tame. This is the one, right? I think this is it. Yeah, there's a stream around here that sometimes it's just difficult to cross and people have to go around it on the road, but it didn't give me any trouble. This was definitely the um, most beautiful viewpoint, looking out here on the farmland. Unfortunately, the rock that I'm standing on, you can see a bit of it. It was all graffito tagged, but I gotta find the name of that because that's definitely worth. Let me see. That's worth seeking out because like that was by far. It's called High Rock. By far the best view since Harper's Ferry. This is Penmar Park here. Those mileages I think I'm not quite accurate. This is the Mason-Dixon line. So this is a famous territory crossing, and it basically means you're crossing out of the Maryland stretch, which is the 40 miles of the AT. The Mason-Dixon line. And there's looks like a little post office box there, but there's a little trail log in there. So I got it out and signed it. Yeah, that's the Mason-Dixon line. And that's the end of the video. So see you next time. See ya.